Hi friends, my name is Umkar Jagdare and I'm coming at you from Detroit, Michigan. Today I'm going to talk to you about does your university ranking really matters? And I'm also going to get into does your GPA matter when you're graduating from a US universities? But before we get into topic, I would really appreciate if you can give me a thumbs up to the video. It allows me to reach out to more immigrants just like you. But without further ado, let's get started. So, does your university ranking really matter? Now, in my opinion, obviously, folks, whatever I say here is obviously my opinion. Make sure you take it with a grain of salt, okay? But in my opinion, if you consider the top 10 to 20 universities in US like Harvard, Stanford, MIT, these universities, and take them out, let's take these 10 to 20 universities out of the picture and keep them aside. In my opinion, these rankings, whatever universities you have left, the ranking doesn't matter. Now, let me explain myself. Now, let's look at these top universities. Now, if you are doing an MBA from Harvard, Wharton, MIT, or University of Chicago, the kind of opportunities you will be seeking and you will be getting after you graduate are totally different than a student from a Lawrence Tech University where I graduated from. If I do an MBA from there, the kind of opportunities that person and me will be getting is totally different. As a matter of fact, some of these companies will never even entertain my resume. I will not even come to know about these companies somehow. I don't know why. I'll tell you something. A really interesting example I'll tell you. A friend of mine who went to University of Michigan, a couple of years younger than me, and he was applying for an internship in New York City. This internship paid $10,000 a month for computer science students going to U of M. Now, I had never even heard of this company. A lot of friends who studied with me in computer science had never even heard of this company. When they applied to this company, they would never even return their calls. But people from these top schools have a shot at these colleges, these jobs, I mean. So here's what happened. He had to go through 7 different interviews in order for him to get that internship, which paid 10 grand a month. Now, he passed 3 of them, he didn't get ahead, but that's the difference between going to a top school and going to a okay school. And that's what I mean by that, folks. So if you're planning to do degrees like MBA, if you're planning to do like computer science, these are degrees that are in demand. They are highly paid professions. So understand, if you go to a top school, it will definitely make a difference. Now, let's take these 10 to 20 universities aside and now look at other universities. Let's look at Lawrence Tech University, Georgia Tech, a little bit more reputed. That's what I'm going to come back to you, what I mean by reputed. Then if you look at Stevens Institute in New York City, if you look at California State University, now understand there are these different kind of universities there are. Now, does the ranking really matter here? Let me give an example. Now, University of Michigan is a great school in Michigan, okay? Lawrence Tech is a great school in Michigan, but it's an okay school. It doesn't have the rankings like University of Michigan. But when it comes to getting a job and making an income, now let's say there's a student who graduated from University of Michigan with a civil engineering degree. Let's say there's a student who graduated from Georgia Tech with a civil engineering degree and Lawrence Tech with a civil engineering degree. All of them graduate from the same school. Now they apply for, let's say, imagine a company will say AECom. Okay, one of the big companies in Michigan, in US, I'm sorry. And let's say all 3 of them apply for an entry level position, fresh off the, like both masters graduated, they apply for entry level. Understand, the entry level position usually pays about $65,000 to $70,000 a year. Just because you graduate from U of M or you graduate from Stanford does not mean they will pay you $100,000. And that's what I mean by your university ranking doesn't matter if you don't get from like these kind of top schools, because everything rest is the same. So you will get paid what the job is worth, not what you are worth when you are entering the market. That's what I mean by, folks, your degree doesn't matter where you come from, where you graduate from. So I hope I'm getting this message across to you, what I really mean by that. So how do you really decide which university you have to go to? The way I decide, the way I would recommend to decide is how the reputation of the university is. What do I mean by reputation? How do people perceive this university in the market? For example, if you graduate from Lawrence Tech University, which is in Detroit area, and you apply to a university in, like, you apply for a job in Detroit area, your chances of getting accepted are really high than if you are a graduate from University of Texas, because Lawrence Tech is known more in Detroit area than University of Texas. If you graduate from University of Texas and you apply in Dallas area, and you graduate from Lawrence Tech and apply in Dallas area, who do you think has more chances of getting this job? Guy from University of Texas, because he is a local candidate. His university is reputed, named, and more people know about it in that area. Not only that, more alumni have graduated from that school and working in that area. Similarly, let's take an example of University of Arkansas and University of Texas. Where do you think, which university, if you go to, you have a higher chance of finding a job? Understand, University of Texas, because more people graduate from there, more alumni are already in the market working. When you send in your resume, there's a better chance that someone knows somebody from that university. And that's what I mean by understand, when you make a decision on which university you want to go to, the ranking of the university, in my opinion, doesn't matter. What matters is how people perceive that university, how they look, what kind of alumni base they have in the market, and what that university has provided the market, okay, in terms of kind of people they provide. So that's what I mean. Now let's look at your grades when you graduate from one of these colleges. Now what I mean by grades, folks, is, understand, for a master's student, you have to maintain a 3.0 GPA for you to graduate. Now, there are a lot of people who barely get 3.0 and graduate, and there are students who get a 4.0 and graduate. Now, what is the difference between them? Now, it's a little bit difficult to really explain in words, but I'll try my best. Now, understand, all a GPA does on a paper, it tells me how hard you worked in your college. It tells me what your work ethic is like. Understand one thing, folks, just because you have a 3.0 GPA and does not mean that you won't be able to score that job. You won't be able to get that job. As a matter of fact, understand one thing. In my personal opinion, the grades really doesn't matter, because I myself graduated with a GPA of 4. I mean 2.4. For undergrad, you only need a 2.0 GPA to graduate. So in my undergrad, I was not really excited about engineering. I just wanted to graduate and I wanted to work in the industry because I enjoyed working with people more. I enjoyed working in a team environment rather than doing homeworks and taking exams. That's what I was excited about. So when I graduated and I got into the industry, because I had developed some speaking skills, some communication skills that allowed me to get opportunities, that allowed me to keep my job and even do better at them, even do good at them. The reason being, understand, let's say you have a 4.0 GPA and let's say you have a 3.0 GPA. If you have a 4.0 but you don't have proper communication skills, you are not going to be able to succeed in your job, folks. But on the other side, let's say you have a 3.0 GPA, but you know how to solve problems. You know how to communicate with other people about what you're going through, what is the issue, and what you need from them to solve this problem. That is what is important for your company, and that's what matters. For example, let's say if I give you a book and I tell you you have to study this concept and solve this problem within a week. Are you able to do that? Now, if your GPA is 4.0 and you're not able to do this, it doesn't matter. You failed at your job. If your GPA is 3.0 but you are still able to do this, you're able to solve this problem, there you go. You have figured out the problem solving skills. And that's what is more important in the job, because in my job, my boss, my supervisors have never cared what I study in school. They ask me, hey, this is a new task. I need you to learn this software. I need you to learn this. I'll give you 3-4 days. Learn it. If you have any questions, get back to me. Let's communicate and then solve this and get ahead. So through my learning of 2 years in college, I have understood how to solve problems, and I have understood how to look at a problem, how to gather information and solve it. And that is the most critical aspect of working in corporate America. Are you able to solve problems, and are you able to communicate with your supervisors and your colleagues? So let's summarize what I have said. So in my opinion, if you take the top 10 to 20 universities out of the picture, the ranking doesn't matter. Obviously, if you are a candidate who have really done well all your life and you have gone to top schools and you still have great grades, then by all means those rankings will help you, they will matter to you because you have always done good. But if you're an average student, above average student who have done well but not exceptionally well where you can get into these universities, let me tell you, my friend, these rankings doesn't matter. You can go to Lawrence Tech, you can go to Georgia Tech, you can go to University of Texas, you can go to Stevens. It doesn't matter. You will have the same shot at most normal opportunities or average opportunities I'm talking about. By that I mean you will have really good life in America. Don't worry. Okay. At the end of the day, what about GPA? In my opinion, again, GPA really doesn't matter. Just make sure you graduate and you develop your skills, by which I mean problem solving skills and communication skills, and they will take you far ahead in your professional career. But with that, that's pretty much what I had to say today. If you have any questions, put it in the comment section. If you don't agree with some of the things I said, as I said earlier, it's my personal opinion. If you don't agree with that, let me know in the comment section. I would love to understand your perspective too. Okay, but otherwise, if you want to connect with me on a personal level, you can always connect with me on Instagram at Omkar Ejagdare. Otherwise, I had a great time talking to you. I look forward to talking with you another time.